All right, what's up, guys? This is Prince Pyramid, and we're back on Tay, trying to take what's left of the outpost and lookout towers. And we're also back on the story hour. This is, we left off when I had just left MEPS, and hopefully that helps anybody that was going through MEPS or is going through MEPS or is considering going into the Army or the military as a whole. Do have one correction after rewatching that video. If you're a Marine and you're east of the Mississippi, you're not going to go to Fort Jackson. You're going to go to Parris Island. They're both in South Carolina, people. I'm not that upset that I misspoke. I'm sure a Marine would be, though. But, anyways, so if you are like me or most people, you didn't do the same day ship out. You probably did the delayed entry process. And that means you finished MEPS and then you went back home for a while. I know for some people it's like a month, and for me it was a month. For some people it's a few weeks. I don't know of anyone that did longer than a month, but I could be wrong. Maybe you can do longer than a month. But anyways, the day's gonna come. You're gonna kind of be chilling for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's gonna hit you like, oh man, the days are getting close. And eventually the day will come where you can look at your orders and read them. It's going to say you need to report to your recruiting station at this day. Now, what that means is you're going to have to say your goodbyes and stuff, and then someone's going to have to drop you off at the recruiting station. You don't want to leave your vehicle there. But someone's going to drop you off, and then the recruiters are going to go over your paperwork. They're going to go over things like your MOS, any bonuses you signed, if you have any special cool stuff in your contract, like an X-ray contract. So maybe you're going to be a special forces operator, cool guy, or maybe you got airborne or something like that. And they'll go over that. Bonuses they'll go over, and MOS. So they'll, at this point you've probably seen all this, but they're going to reiterate all this. You'll know where you're going to go to basic training at this point, and you're going to know where your AIT is going to be after basic training. But they're going to, what do they review everything? They're going to load you up on that same van that they were taking you back and forth to MEPS with. And then they're going to take you probably to a hotel. For me, they actually drove us to the Renaissance Hotel in Montgomery. I think it's called the Renaissance. It's in downtown Montgomery. It's actually a pretty nice hotel, given that it's the Army and it's Montgomery, Alabama. So, all things considered, it was kind of a pretty nice deal. That's a decent little goat. But the food will be free. They'll have a little gaming area for you. I remember eating pretty well, and then me and my roommate ended up playing 2K till pretty late. But it's kind of your last night of hey, enjoy this, because the next few months are not going to be that great. But that you're going to end up getting your room. You're going to have a roommate. It's going to be two to a room for the most part. I can't imagine anyone gets a room to themselves. And then that next morning, they're going to move everyone out early to a staging area. It's going to be outside of the hotel, and the buses are pretty much just going to run from the hotel back to that MEP station. And if you're same day, shipping out the same day, you're going to have to do the whole MEPS process. But if you are on the delayed and you already did MEPS, they're just going to do a quick version of MEPS pretty much for you. I don't remember what they made us repeat, but it's nothing crazy. And then they're going to start putting you guys in another staging area broken down by flights, plane rides. Depending on if you're going to Leonard Wood, you're going to be put in a group. If you're going to Sill, you're going to be put in a group, Benning and Jackson as well. And whoever this group is with you, that's going to be your group probably for the next 24 to 36 hours. You're going to be all over the place together. They're going to require one of you to kind of be like the leader, I guess. And for me, I was put in as the leader because I came out of college. So on paper I'm a specialist, even though at this point I'm just a trainee. But they put you in charge, and you kind of just make sure everybody gets on the plane and stuff like that. It's nothing crazy. And for the most part, this is a lot of times this is people's first time away from home, so they're pretty much stay in a group without too much enforcement. It's nothing too serious. But at least for me, they broke us up into groups, and then the day came, or not the day, the hour came where we had to load the bus, and we were bused from the MEP station in Montgomery to the Montgomery Regional Airport. You're loaded onto that, and because it's such a small airport, you can't really. There's only like I think Montgomery pretty much just runs from Montgomery to Atlanta. That's about it. So they took us from Montgomery to Atlanta, so you don't even really get comfortable because by the time you're at a cruising altitude, you're already descending because you go up and down to get from Montgomery to Atlanta by plane. It's like less than an hour. And then from Atlanta, they loaded us without much of a layover. I think some of us grabbed some snacks and stuff, but that's about it. And they took us from Atlanta to St. Louis. The St. Louis airport, not my favorite. I don't dislike it quite the same way I dislike Atlanta, just because Atlanta's huge. But St. Louis, they put you all up in the USO, and at this point, their group got substantially bigger because it's not just the people coming from Montgomery to Leonard Wood. It's people coming from all over the country to Leonard Wood. So the USO is packed. The people there are always great people, but it's really hard to make something nice when you just got hundreds of people packed into this little room. The food goes quick. The video game chairs get taken up pretty quick, but the USO people do their best to make it manageable. And so once everyone's at the USO, they're going to start taking big chunks of people at a time. Who wants to go to Leonard Wood first? And they'll load everybody on the bus. And I didn't, guys. I was trying to stay there as long as I possibly could. I wanted to avoid at all costs just going in. But I would suggest if you are at this point, volunteer to go first. You want to get in there first because that's the only way you're ever going to get any sleep. Because for me, by the time I got to Leonard Wood, it was 1 in the morning. I was part of the last group that went in. As we take this lookout point, let's see if she's got something to say before I keep going. Nope, looks like she's good. But for me, I actually didn't get on the bus from St. Louis USO to Leonard Wood until about 1 in the morning. And the bus ride, it took about an hour. It feels like about an hour. Because at least for Leonard Wood, it's probably not as bad if you're going to Atlanta. For Atlanta to Benning wouldn't be as bad because it's a lot closer. But for me, I was there 1 in the morning by the time we pulled up, and your adrenaline starts going because you've seen the videos and stuff. But this is reception, and reception is going to be staffed by drill sergeants that are almost done with their drill time. So they're a lot calmer than the drill sergeants that's actually going to be at basic training. But you'll get a little taste, just a little taste of what's to come. So it's the middle of the night. We're driving through. Most of these guys are tired or exhausted already. It's been a long day. We've flown around the country to get here. And now your adrenaline's going because you know you're going to get yelled at soon. And we go through the gate, and the MP stops the bus. The bus driver just shows him the credentials or whatever. And then we get through the gate, and the bus driver gives me this advice. He gives the whole bus the advice because he's a former vet. And he tells us, just play the game. Just remember why you're doing this and just play the game. Because that's all basic training is. It's basic. It's a hazing process. That's all it is. most of the drill sergeants there, if you ever see them again in a normal setting or in a like an actual unit setting, they're just chill. They're just normal folks. But right now they have a job to do, and that's to make this as unenjoyable as possible, I guess, would be the best way to put it. It's to make it as stressful as possible on you. But just play the game. You go through there for a reason, whether you wanted. For me, it was a clearance. For other people, it was they wanted that bonus. They wanted their training. Some of them were just coming from really bad situations and wanted a way out. Just remember, wherever you're there, and just kind of hold on to it because it's going to start getting rough here soon. But anyways, he drops us off, and the first time you see one of those hats, one of those brown hats, state trooper looking hats, gets on the bus, and I'm expecting to get screamed at because I don't understand yet. There's just the difference between reception and basic. These drill sergeants are kind of here just to shuffle you to basic, and they're a lot more chill for the most part. So he gets on the bus and he tells us, load all your stuff in a bag, throw all this away. This is stuff you can't have. We're going to put your cell phones in the little baggies and stuff. And any contraband, you better throw it away now. But it's not as bad as you think so far, but it's coming. Anyways, he's going to issue your stuff. He's going to walk you through all these lines, and these civilians are going to be working at the actual issue point. They're going to give you clothes, your PT clothes, your PT belt, all that stuff. And they're kind of going to give you a quick version of, this is where your rank goes. This is where the flag goes. This is which way the flag goes. This is your unit patch. Make sure you don't, this is where your unit patch goes. Don't put it on the wrong arm. And you guys are going to mess it up. You're going to mess it up. Everybody messes it up. It's a completely different world they're throwing you into, and you're supposed to mess up. And they're going to yell at you for messing up. And then you're probably going to mess up again. But eventually, the quicker you can turn off and just take instructions, the easier it's going to be for you. So that's what I would suggest to everybody, is just do your best to keep everything they're telling you organized in your head and continue to play the game. If you're getting yelled at, don't take it personal. Just kind of roll with it. And eventually it'll become second nature, those kind of little things. But at reception, the main purpose is to do paperwork. They're going to, again, review your contract. They're going to have you determine who the benefactor is for your life insurance. They're going to determine what you want your TSP to look like, what you want your retirement to look like, what you want your GI Bill to look like. At least for me, I don't know if it's still an option. I think they were changing it. But there was a brief time where you could opt in or out of the Montgomery GI Bill deal. But that's pretty much what you're there to do at reception. It's tedious. It's long. They're going to yell at you for talking, but, you're there for 10 to 12 hours of just silence, so it's kind of hard to do. And ultimately, it's not that bad. You're going to be put in a bay. They're going to have a bay leader in there, and the bay leader's probably a washout who's trying to go back home, and he's going to give you all kinds of military and life advice, even though he's the guy that never finished anything. So take anything they say with a grain of salt. One of the last things that happens at reception is the moment of truth, and this is the last chance you have to get out. If you have gotten to this point and you know that this is not going to be for you, you're already having regrets. If you lied on the MEPS evaluation, the moment of truth will come where they're going to say, hey, anything that you lied about in MEPS, this is we can wipe the slate clean and we can send you home. That's where a lot of the bay leaders come from. If you, what the heck was that? Oh, red deer. But if you have like a surgery you didn't tell them about, or if you have scars or something like a allergy. I had a friend who had an allergy. This is the time, if you want it out, you can bring it up, and they'll pretty much just say, okay, done deal. Most people at this point have already decided they're not going to do that. So again, you're not going to get UCMJ'd or anything, because again, you're still technically a trainee. So that they can't put you in prison, guys. Don't let them scare you about that again. But once all this is done, once reception is done, the real day will come. It's usually on a Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, early in the week. They're going to say tomorrow's the shipping out day, and you're going to pack all your stuff, and you're going to leave that big reception bay that probably has like 30 to 40 people in it, maybe even more. It felt like more because the showers were open and it sucked. There was no room at all for anything, especially when it came down to like early in the morning shaving. That really sucked. But the day comes where it's time to ship out, and they're going to line you guys up in front of the actual reception barracks, and they're going to have buses lined up, and there's going to be other drill sergeants there, and it's drill sergeants that you don't recognize. And these are the real drill sergeants. These are the drill sergeants that are here these are the ones you're going to deal with. These are the ones that's going to yell at you, smoke you, all that stuff. This is the time where it's going to start hitting you like, okay, this is going to be different. And for me, the drill sergeant that picked us up, he didn't really say much, but I don't think they're supposed to. They're not supposed to until they get with the other drill sergeants. Once you get dropped off, so we all load our stuff. They basically have you got your ruck on your front, so that's awkward. But the weight's balanced because you got your duffel bag on your back, and it's super awkward to walk. And they're going to start saying, load the bus, load the bus, load the bus. And you're going to get on the bus, and it's going to be incredibly uncomfortable. You can't possibly maneuver yourself to where that ruck and that duffel bag aren't making your life miserable. But don't take it off. Do not take it off, because the minute that you come to a stop in front, when the bus starts moving, it's going to only go for about a couple minutes, 10, 15 minutes. And then you're going to arrive in front of some more barracks. And the drill sergeant is going to probably stand up, calmly say, all right, you guys have 30 seconds to get off this bus. Nobody, I don't care who they are, could possibly unload a bus with rucks and duffels in 30 seconds. But this is the first task that you're designed to fail. And they'll start the countdown. If you're the first person off the bus, you're going to be greeted by about 3, 4 drill sergeants. They'll even bring drill sergeants that aren't yours from other companies, other cadre. And it's going to feel like they're everywhere. Like dozens of them, all in your face, all telling you how you're not going to make it, how you don't belong here, you have no business being here, and all this stuff. They're so close to you, they're spitting on you, they're throwing your duffels, they're knocking over your rucksacks. They throw the duffels into a big pile, and then they're screaming at you to find yours. And the whole thing is just organized chaos. It's to make you understand that the situation has just changed from where you just came from. And that'll go on for about 20 to 30 minutes. They're going to smoke you. They're going to have you do push-ups. They're going to have you stand in the leaning rest. They're going to have you do the little like invisible chair, the wall sit thing. And they're going to make you hold the duffels over your head. They're going to knock them off your head. It's just, this is the shark attack. And is at this point, I don't know, because I've heard different stuff. I heard this isn't how it's still done. But I can't imagine at a place like, especially like Benning and Leonard Wood, where you have like MPs, sappers, infantry, tankers. I can't imagine that they actually got rid of the shark attack, but you guys let me know in the comments if that's a true story. Did they actually get rid of the shark attack? But anyways, so while they're chewing you out and spitting on you and screaming at you, they're going to start organizing you into lines. And for us, there was 3 lines. Everybody kind of fell into it. They were we were running off the bus and they had a little marker and they'd mark your duffel bag. And if you got a blue marker, you lined up under the blue marker thing. If you had a red marker, you lined up under the red. And if you had a black, you lined up under the black marker. And that was how they were going to break you down by platoon. They only had 3 markers, and I guess it felt random because, I mean, I don't even know how they possibly managed to get the numbers right, but somehow it worked. So I got hit with the blue marker, which put me in the 2nd platoon. Red was 3rd, and black was the 1st platoon. And it's at this point that you're going to be in a line with your platoon, and there's going to be, for us, 3 drill sergeants that are all standing around you, and these are going to be the drill sergeants that's going to be taking care of you for the next month. And you know, you're scared out of your mind. You've been screamed at. You've been yelled at. You're tired because you've just been smoked for the first time, really. And then the company first sergeant and the commander will come in front of you and give you a little speech. That's a decent Red Deer 2. It's level 7. Well, let's take a shot. We haven't taken a shot. But the company commander, the XO, will be there too, and they're going to give you the whole rundown on what their expectations are. I'm pretty sure it's probably universal for everybody. I really doubt their speeches change much, but maybe. Anyways, you'll get over there. It was also both my commander and XO were from Alabama. Fun fact, so got a little bit of hometown love from those guys. And my drill sergeant was actually from Georgia, so he frequented some of the same bars because Benning's pretty close to Auburn, so he frequented some of the same bars I did when he was at Benning and I was in college. But this is the moment where they're gonna give you the little speech, and then they're gonna tell you run upstairs and put all your stuff away, and then get outside, and you got about 2 minutes to do it. This is the 2nd task you've been given that you are going to fail. Just that you don't have a choice.
Has a new blog post up. I was dismayed to find upon returning to the site of my sequestration that all of my spoils had been looted. He then goes on to refer to us as evil fiends. Here's the link if you're in the mood for a laugh. Hopefully he won't have any
Oh my
reason to come
God,
back.
shut up.
But do let me know if you run into him again, okay?
Okay, cool. But yep. So this is where we're probably going to break it. We covered reception. We covered the start of basic, but all your stuff's up in your locker. You're kind of been yelled at to find your bunk and stuff. So now that all that's dropped out, you're about to go outside, and it's really about to begin. And this is where we're going to break it for the next video. And I really appreciate you guys following along. Hopefully, again, like kind of like the MEPS thing, if this helps you guys kind of alleviate some of that stress that I know happens right before you ship out, then I'm doing my job, and that's what I'm trying to do. But so we'll see next time when we actually start basic training. But until then, I've been Prince Pyramid, and we'll see you guys next time.